Welcome back to another triangle
In
strategy.
his time, Lord Simone protected the Roselle who fled Hyzante, and the village they established within the Wolffort domain. 30 years have passed since then. The Hierophant uses the illegal salt trade incident as leverage to demand those Roselle be sent to the source, where Hyzantean faith dictates they must reside.
So the current dilemma from last episode before it ends, after proving our loyalty, I guess, to Hyzante and the ministers, we are offered a seat as Serenoa is offered a seat as one of the Saintly Seven in exchange of turning in the Roselle from House Wolffort. But that's the current dilemma right now.
To secure the Hierophant's goodwill and the subsequent protection of House Wolffort, Serenoa has no other choice but to acquiesce. Thus, with House End ruined and a vacant position among the Saintly Seven to be filled, rumors of House Wolffort's ascendancy start sounding more credible than ever to the people of Hyzante.
Impressions under the sun. We're gonna be referring to the scales, like we know.
Lord Serenoa, I believe it may be in our best interests to turn over the Roselle after all.
But they fought so hard to escape Hyzante. They would never agree to return.
It would be a show of good faith to the Saintly Seven and secure House Wolffort's safety. If the situation calls for force, well, we must be prepared, to borrow Minister Exham's words.
I see. Give me time to think over the matter. Where is Frederica?
Oh, she left for the source with Prince Roland. She said she wanted to see where the Roselle lived for herself.
Ah, indeed. Hyzantean law requires all Roselle to make their home at the source.
She is most troubled over this, Lord Serenoa. Please, if you could...
I understand. I will make for the source at once.
Got a bunch over here. Wouldn't be able to see if we didn't zoom out.
Thalus, thank you for making the necessary arrangements.
No need to thank me. I am your Prime Minister, after all. I have made sure those with any power in Glenbrook understand their place. They will do as we command.
Then everything is in place. It is time.
Is there nothing I might do to aid you, brother?
If there were, I would tell you.
Haha. The girl got shut down.
And the consortium, Thalus?
Oh, I expect we shan't have any trouble from them. I have promised them a considerable sum to stay out of our way.
Good. Now it is just a waiting game. I wonder how long the Hyzanteans will last.
Didn't really give us much information. Oh, look who's alive.
Silvio Tellior, I presume?
Who might you be?
Someone who brings good tidings. An offer you may wish to consider.
I am ruined. Who would want to offer me anything?
It is Minister Edor's wish. Will you hear me out?
One of the Saintly Seven? Then you are Hyzantean.
My master is eager for your assistance, as you are quite close to House Wolffort.
I believe that's everything. Those were pretty short though.
Please, I'd only like to glimpse the goddess's sacred grounds for myself. It won't take but a moment.
That may be, but outsiders are not permitted into the source for such frivolities. And you are Rosellan. You ought to understand the teachings better than anyone.
Frederica.
Serenoa, forgive my impulsive behavior.
There's nothing to forgive. I too wish to learn more of the Roselle and Hyzante. Not knowing would make my decision easier, but still I feel I must.
Serenoa? From House Wolffort?
The very same. Lord Serenoa Wolffort. The one who will assume control of the salt trade in short order, as House End once did. To that end, we are here today for a preliminary inspection of the grounds.
So the rumors were true.
Well, are you refusing the newest addition to the Saintly Seven entry into the source?
Of course not. Please, right this way.
More like the source of salt. Essentially slavery.
All right, you Rosellan wretches! Time for worship! Minister Edor Seven himself will be giving the sermon today. You should be thankful. Heed his word, and your sins shall be cleansed.
Roselle, do you know why you are imprisoned at the source, condemned to toil? It is because your ancestors committed the most heinous of sins. Long, long ago, they schemed to seize control of the salt that the goddess bequeathed to the people of Nozelia. They seized the source for themselves, wresting every last grain of salt from other peoples, desperate for the resource. Using the salt they hoarded as a shield, they terrorized the land, destroying any who stood against them in their thirst for domination. Fanned by their greed, the flames of war long ravaged our land. Countless innocents lost their lives. What a terrible, arrogant people. Their cursed souls dwell within you, their progeny, to this very day. Indeed, the proof is in the very color of your hair. The same red as the blood that flowed from their countless victims.
Our people sinned against the goddess. We are a detestable blight upon Norzelia.
Oh, goddess of salt, please, forgive us our sins. Forgive us.
I think that's the worst part of all of it. They're not even aware and they're just going with it.
Do not despair, for the goddess of salt is ever merciful and kind. She grants even the worst of sinners, even you, a chance to atone. That atonement will only come through hard work here at the source. By quenching this earth with your sweat, by giving your lives to this labor, your cursed souls will be cleansed and welcomed back to the goddess's side. Only then, when your sins have been washed away, can you hope to be reborn into a pure body and once again walk upon Norzelia. People of the Roselle, surrender your lives to the source and give your thanks to the great goddess.
O goddess of salt, for you I give myself, stained with sin as I am, to the source. Thank you for granting us the chance to atone.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is enough. Now take that gratitude and turn it toward your work.
That's one way to motivate them.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
This is atonement? And the Roselle accept it as a fitting punishment? Even if that story Idor told is true, no sin warrants this kind of cruel retribution. Hyzante maintains control over Salt now. Are they then not guilty of the same crime?
You are right. But this is as the goddess of salt commands, is it not?
Time to see for myself what goes on at the source. Alright. Let's gather some stuff first. Should be one last. Forgot where it is. Oh God, this is annoying. There we go. Should be everything. So they would install me as overseer of the source if I can find my way into the Saintly Seven. Damn, okay. Alright, these people just minding their business. How can the Holy State allow a man in his condition to work? It's just a child right there. The treatment of the Roselle is utterly inhumane. Tell me about it. Okay, so like I said in the last episodes, we have too many morality points at this rate, so we're kind of balancing on the lower end of utility and liberty just so we can still secure the morality ending, but we want to get some more characters, side characters unlocked. So I'm gonna be picking utility and more and liberty. In which case, I'm alternating, I guess. This is the utility one. Yet higher yields of salt would benefit all Norzelia. They force young and old alike to toil in deplorable conditions and have the audacity to call it atonement. They don't even tend to those who collapse from exhaustion. They treat my people worse than criminals. It breaks my heart to behold such cruelty. I can scarcely imagine what it must be like to suffer through this. It's utility. Ignoring emotions or minimizing it? I suppose so. After all, so few are granted access to the source. But I fear I cannot bear to stare into the void where Hyzante's humanity should be and see my people suffer. Frederica. Look at this, Serenoa. The scene before you is but a fact of life for Hyzante. It sickens me. Alright. Oh, they're numbered too. And look at how many of them. 18,000. Okay, that should be it. I think we're gonna be relying on the skills after this one. We should return to the encampment. Have more perspective now for making the decision.
This is more awful than I imagined.
Will you still send any Roselle in the Wolffort domain here? Force them into a life like this?
It isn't right. It isn't just. I don't care that it would ensure our own safety.
Indeed. It would be unforgivable. What is just is constantly in flux depending on the circumstances. That said, protecting people is always the right thing to do. Wouldn't you agree, Serenoa?
I feel the same as you both, but...
My apologies. I didn't mean to place all the blame on you. Still, we continue stumbling on the path before us.
Serenoa and his retinue return to their domain, their every step weighed down by the heavy task Hyzante has placed upon them. Elsewhere, the newly restored kingdom of Glenbrook begins to take action under Queen Cordelia's leadership. The kingdom issues a joint proclamation with Esfrost against Hyzante, halting all trade and severing diplomatic ties with the Holy State.
Okay, decision making. No side stories, but we have character stories. Okay, hopefully we're gonna recruit one more. We at least need one more in our slots because we've been lacking in numbers.
Thank you for agreeing to see me. My name is Julio.
So, you're looking to pledge your service to us, eh? They tell me you're from the Crown City. Something happened to drive you our way?
I'm afraid so.
Oh, so this is way back, still before. But I guess he's been looking for us since then.
Why have you brought me all the way to this place? Whatever it is you wish to speak about, I should hope it is important. I am a busy man.
It is indeed. It concerns the Grand Norzellian mining venture. Pardon me if I'm being presumptuous, but I came across a most curious thing when I was reviewing the particulars of the arrangement the other day. There were documents that I did not recall having seen before. Specifically, documents pertaining to the compensation of the workers contracted to transport the iron out of the mine.
Is that so?
Following the paper trail, I could not help but notice that a not insignificant amount of coin had made its way through paths most circuitous and befuddling into your hands. Something easily overlooked at a glance, but my eyes are sharper than most.
Alright, and that's gonna cost you.
No doubt you have a logical explanation for this?
Bad idea to confront him about it too.
I haven't need to explain it. Even if I were guilty of whatever it is you have the gall to accuse me of, there is naught you can do about it. All that I have done with Prince Franny's full backing.
I feel like this is the guy bribing with Sorceley.
You would claim that His Highness is complicit in this?
The high and mighty are always scratching each other's backs. Everyone knows that. Everyone, it would seem, but you.
To think the Crown Prince would be party to such corruption. Has our kingdom truly sunk so low?
It would fall on your head should word of this get out. Considering the nature of the crime, I shudder to think of the punishment. Luckily for you, I've every intention of keeping this matter between us, so long as you don't go running your mouth. Why, I'll even toss in some coin to sweeten the deal. A fair enough bargain, wouldn't you say?
Coin? I spit on your coin. I will not remain silent. I cannot. I will root out the rot of corruption that plagues our realm, no matter what it may cost me.
You stubborn, self-righteous fool! I'd hoped to settle this as reasonable adults, but it would seem that...
She's trying to punch him?
The kingdom is under attack! Esfrost strikes!
Oh, this happened while that happened.
What's this?
Well, happy to have you anyway.
Needless to say, the circumstances make my return to the Crown City impossible. Pray allow me to be of service here.
Ah, now it's coming back to me. You were Sir Maxwell's second in command during the tourney, weren't you? You didn't stand out much, but you held your own well enough. Aye, I reckon we could find use for him yet.
Very well then. Be welcome among us. Eridor, see that our new friend gets settled in.
Thank you, my lord. You have my word that I will serve you well.
Alright, should have enough forces. This should be good for Frederica. Let's give him a quick check. Oh, he uses as a sword. Look at that. Strength and strong enough too. That's cool. Okay. Not bad. We'll do early mid game. Okay. Time to rely on the scales.
Esfrost and Glenbrook signed an agreement denouncing Hyzante.
Word only just arrived, and it is no mere rumor. They've issued a formal proclamation.
Preposterous! Gustadolf must have forced Cordelia's hand. This is sure to make Hyzante cease salt shipments to the consortium. All this denouncement will do is hamstring Esfrost and Glenbrook both.
My brother... Gustadolf does not fight battles he cannot win. I'm certain this is part of some greater ploy.
I feel all of Norzelia stands on the precipice. But of what, I cannot say.
Each nation is making its move. We too must take action to secure our position before it's too late.
By which you mean expelling the Roselle?
To protect the Wolffort domain and its people. No one would dare hold such actions against you. Lord Serenoa, you must make a decision.
I saw what it is truly like at the source. The Rosellen are forced into back-breaking labor. No decent man would condemn another to such a fate.
But if we refuse the Hierophant, we will face the same dire consequences as House End. Should that happen, the Roselle would still be lost, would they not?
Then you think it is right to sacrifice the Roselle to save Wolffort?
No one is saying it is right, but a decision must be made. We must prioritize our own survival. That much should be clear. And survive we shall, if we can secure Hyzante's aid. Unless you know of another way?
Serenoa, I beseech you, not as one with Roselle blood in her veins, but as a person, as a Wolffort. You cannot give up the Roselle to Hyzante.
I appreciate each of your arguments, but we cannot debate this forever. It is time to decide. Once more to the scales of conviction.
Yep. Can't decide on his own, so he relies on the scales. Alright, scales, voting time, baby. We need Hyzante's support if we are to reclaim Glenbrook. But it comes at a price. One the Roselle under our protection must pay. Okay, we need only convince Benedict, Gila, and Anna.
Lord Serenoa.
House Wolffort has overcome countless hardships to get where we are now. If we refuse to relinquish the Roselle, we will meet the same fate as House End. Our first priority must be our own survival. If we do not survive, we can do nothing for the Roselle. You believe we must protect the Roselle? Why? That makes sense. I agree. No doubt Hyzante understands the same.
Even so...
But even if we disobey their orders, it is only a matter of time until they come to claim us, and less time than if we avoid. We should avail ourselves all the time we can to gain the upper hand and reclaim our honor.
If so...
Do you harbor any doubts about the Holy State, my lord? Yeah.
Indeed.
I agree. They must harbor their own suspicions of us, being unbelievers. There is a chance that they can continue to force us to make decisions like these, even if we relinquish the Roselle. We should find a way to keep a fair berth without bending to their will.
I must hear what the others think.
I understand your concerns, my lord. I have my own doubts, truth be told. Okay, I think we convince her. Thank you for your time. Now I must decide where my token will fall.
We must decide.
If we defy the Holy One, everything we have done until this very moment will have been for naught. House Wolffort needs Hyzante's support if it is to survive. It pains me to have to say it, but the situation leaves us no choice but to surrender to Roselle. I thought you might be opposed. I should like to hear your thoughts, if you are open to sharing them. Your feelings for your people are praiseworthy and every bit befitting of your station. But the situation that surrounds us cares little for feelings, and it is also your duty as Lord to approach it rationally. It appears our views are at an impasse. Allow me to ask you one more thing, my lord. The political climate took an unexpected turn once Esfrost cut ties with Hyzante.
Certainly not.
How do you believe House Wolffort should conduct itself going forward? I see. So you would use our might as a bargaining chip to secure the Roselle's safety.
However...
But I must remind you that in Hyzante, the goddess is absolute, as is the word of the Hierophant. We cannot be certain if this matter is even up for debate.
I am decided.
In any case, tensions between the two nations are rising, and fast. We must be prudent in our actions.
Aye, lad.
My lord, everything we've done until now has been for the people. And the Roselle are our people too. There's no way we can just hand them over to Hyzante. We don't want to convince him anyway.
Say.
I witnessed Hyzante's treatment of the Roselle with my own eyes. They fled here in search of protection, and there's no way I could subject them to that cruelty again. I saw the way Hyzante treated my people at the source, Serenoa. It breaks my heart just thinking about it. There is no question in my mind what we should do. I absolutely refuse to hand the Roselle over to those monsters. Okay, here. The Roselle are people of the Wolffort domain, but if we defy the Hierophant, we will face the same fate as House End. I am at a loss.
And?
Lord Serenoa, so you think we should protect the Roselle? Okay, let's follow through with what we talked about with Benedict. I must admit I was also caught off guard by the Archduke's decree. It could be a harbinger of war indeed. And if we are on the brink of battle, the strength and expertise of House Wolffort would prove invaluable to the Holy State. We may be able to leverage that to gain some sort of concession from them regarding the Roselle.
I don't know what to do.
Personally, I agree with you. I don't want to surrender the Roselle, but... Are there any other reasons you want to protect them? Dumb answer.
But...
I understand how you feel. The name of House Wolffort is known across the land because of Lord Simon. I would hate to do anything that would sully such a proud house. But shielding the Roselle from Hyzante might result in that house being crushed altogether.
I don't know what to do.
The more I think about this, the more my heart aches. And lastly...
What do you need?
The Roselle in that village are those who fled Hyzante and their descendants. If the Holy State asks for their people to be returned, we have little room to argue, and if we refuse, we will be branded as heretics. But bending the knee would earn you the title of Saint, Lord Serenoa. I think it is in our best interest to obey for now. So you would choose to protect the Roselle. Might I ask why? This is too personal.
Yes, I see.
It is only natural you would want to protect your people, as your father did, even more so now that you have seen the source with your own eyes. It might be said that earning the great power of a saint requires great sacrifice, but I fear we could stand to lose much more than that in the process.
I require some time to think.
Do we focus on what we stand to gain or the weight of what we might lose? The answer is not a simple one. Okay. Let the scales decide. So yeah, I'm leaning towards morality because while we want to put in some points in liberty and utility, we want to make sure we secure morality ending.
We face a difficult decision. Do we surrender the Roselle living in our domain to Hyzante, or do we defy their orders? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
You make a convincing argument, my lord.
Let us try this path for the future of House Wolffort. Okay, I think we convinced Benedict. Okay, didn't speak anything, meaning...
I agree wholeheartedly.
I will follow the path of your convictions, my lord. Okay, well, I mean, most of our people leaning towards morality anyway. You have my vote.
I have faith in you.
There's no other way forward for us. Probably didn't convince her.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen.
Alright, expected outcome. Oh, I can't believe it's unanimous.
The way forward is decided. The Roselle are our people. We must shelter them, even if it earns us Hyzante's ire.
That's our decision.
I suspected it would come to this. We have chosen our path, and now we must see it through. We will refuse to hand over the Roselle to Hyzante.
Alright, it's probably the harder end of the road, but that's it for now.